Upgrade. We have a great show for you today, and I'm here with my amazing boss, Seymour. Hi, Seymour.
Hey.
So we have our secret word coming up, 3 chances to win in our monthly $1,000 draw for fun stuff. And just go to magfast.com/fun. We'll talk about that a little more later.
Yeah, it's $1,000 draw. We do it every month. All kinds of amazing electronics. MAGFAST goodies in there as well. You'll work with Kate if you're the winner. We're also going to announce September's $1,000 prize draw winner and the winners from the Air contest. Last week we asked you. We showed MAGFAST Air, our new baby here. It's just comes so beautifully off tool, and we asked you to come up with some nice little phrases to describe Air, and hundreds and hundreds of entries. Thank you so much to everyone who wrote in. Really fun working on this. Okay, before we get started.
Yes, remember to subscribe and like us on Facebook, follow on Twitter, connect with us on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at MAGFAST.
That's just one at MAGFAST. Instagram at MAGFAST. So we're going to cover a few things today. First of all, I want to talk about shipping, and specifically shipping batches. Now, as I said a few weeks ago in my email, if you didn't see it, please go back and check. I think the subject line was like a personal note. Do you have a minute, please? A personal note from me. I tried to kind of go into exactly where we are at the moment with the kind of the challenges of the past, the challenges of the present, and the future, and really lay it all out for you. The business of shipping in the current environment is very challenging. There's the whole global supply chain thing. By the way, I own this. I want to just repeat what I said in the email. I own this. I asked you to join us on this journey. I own, I'm prepared to take a little bit of credit for the cool things we've done, but I need to own the challenges that we're facing and the mistakes that we've made in the past. And the fact of the matter is, if we had made a couple of different decisions way back in time, right, several years ago, we would probably have gotten a bit of shipping out before COVID hit. But we didn't. We made a couple of mistakes, and we've also had this absolute insistence that we get these things right. So when you get it in your hands, you'll be like, okay, this is why we waited for it. And you saw Darren a few weeks ago, our very first customer, very first to ship, and he was like, no, this was worth the wait. So as we start manufacturing now, and remember, as I always say, manufacturing, once you get started, you do increasingly large batches, right? You don't want to make 10,000 of something with an error in it. So you do smaller batches and you increase. But as we get started on that process now, obviously our attention is turning towards shipping. It's still going to be a little while before you get yours. There's no getting away from that. But I wanted to bring in a very special guest this week because, as you know, customer service are amazing. Kate is bring Kate bigger on the screen, please. Kate is the kind of one of the cornerstones of customer service, and she's working, aren't you, Kate, very closely on the whole business of making sure that we ship as quickly as we can, when we can, making sure that it's super fair. In principle, we're starting obviously with the first orders first, but it gets a bit more involved in that. And this project, the shipping project, turned out to be to need like it just turned out to be a bigger, like everything about MAGFAST, a kind of a bigger and more complex project than we thought. So I brought in one of the people I respect and like the most in the world to help with this. His name is Rex Northern. Can we bring Rex up onto the screen, please, Sharon, if he's there? Is he in the green room? Hello, Rex.
Hey.
Rex and I have known each other for, I think it is fully 30 years now.
Can't possibly. You can't.
It has been, I think so. We were young and innocent then. Now we're just 30 years, and we've worked on a number of different projects together. And he's kind of one of the smartest people I've ever met, and he's an incredibly strong advocate for you, the customer. And so a few months ago, I said, "Look, Rex, we're starting to get ready for shipping now. Thousands and thousands of orders. Not all of the products are going to be, in other words, it's not going to be that one day we've suddenly got inventory of all the products that everybody's ordered. They're going to start to come. We're going to have the first 3, right? We're going to have Life, and Extreme and Air are going to come in first of all. Most people have ordered a Pro kit that's more than that. So how are we going to handle all this? What's fair? We want to do right by everybody. And so I'm really so glad that Rex agreed to do it. He's our special projects director, has worked on a number of like really important things for the company, but it's the first time we've had him along here for the upgrade. So thank you for joining us today, mate. I really appreciate you coming
Thanks
in.
for having me.
Yes, thank you, Rex. And as Seymour mentioned, Rex, you and I are working on shipping batches together very closely. And I just was hoping that we would bring you in and you could speak to some of the challenges around creating these.
Yeah, well, it's actually a lot of fun to be here for my first upgrade. I've, of course, seen many of the previous shows that you guys have produced, and it's a real privilege for us who aren't usually invited to join you. So thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
This is, of course, an important subject, possibly the most important subject in the MAGFAST universe, and I am privileged also to be working with Kate and the rest of customer service, with Sanya and the team. And also with this amazing group of people who are there working on production and manufacturing. I mean, you really do, Seymour, have an extraordinary group of people who are doing an incredible job in difficult circumstances. And they have difficult circumstances for a number of different reasons. One of them is that we are, at MAGFAST, we're a startup and we don't have a lot of, negotiating and sort of punching power, unlike the big guys in the charging industry. And we're aiming to build a terrific, great, big, important industry-dominating company. And that's your dog, is it, Katie? Anyway, so one of the dogs is saying,
sorry,
is echoing, I think, the story about how important this is. So, and at the same time, we have some challenges to deal with, and everybody wants, of course, real certainty as to what's going to happen in terms of shipping. And I'm here working with these great people on both sides, and customer service, who are interacting with customers, and with the production team. And what we're aiming to do today is to produce a lot more clarity. I think we won't get to complete certainty in one step, but we can get towards a lot more of a kind of concrete, clear, explaining what's going on and what we're doing, and some of the activities to get you your product. So the first thing to mention in terms of the challenges, which Seymour has talked about both in his email and in this upgrade, and as Kate's mentioned, some of the challenges that we've been facing as an organization, is that there are kind of things internal to the company and external to the company. The first thing to mention, of course, is that because of you, the supporters, there are tens of thousands of pre-orders. And it's a fantastic thing. It shows MAGFAST and the great partners that the company has, but it also means that there are tens of thousands of pre-orders to get shipped. And it means that it's much tougher to predict when you will get your particular product. The second thing is, of course, that many of you have placed orders for Pro kits, and each Pro kit contains 6 different items, 5 different products, and I've had the joy of working now with probably thousands of different startups, and nobody, Seymour, nobody decides to produce 6 different products as their first thing. And this was a very ambitious thing to do, and it does mean, for those of you who have ever been involved in anything startup land, it does mean it's that much more challenging. Tens of thousands of pre-orders, 6 different products to get those orders out. And the third thing, of course, which is the external issue, is to do with this incredible global supply chain meltdown which has occurred in recent history. And there is an article on the status page. I'm going to come back to that in a second as I talk about it. All right, so none of these issues that MAGFAST has in terms of large numbers of orders and 6 different products needing to be developed and manufactured and production ramped up, and the global supply chain meltdown, none of it means that we, Seymour in particular, but we as a company do not own this. And there's a lot going on to ensure that you get your product as quickly as we can make that happen. So I'm thinking about how I would present this today. I thought there were kind of 3 questions that I might ask if I were you. And in fact, I am one of you, because before I was directly involved in MAGFAST, I was one of those people who placed a pre-order.
He was, and I want to actually thank Rex, because Rex was watching on the very, very first day that MAGFAST kind of came out, that when we did the very original presentation way back when, And it was a very nerve-wracking day for the team. I've told the story many times. But the very first phone call that came in after it turned out that things were taking off was from Rex, and I'm very grateful. I'm sure you would also, if things hadn't worked out, you'd also have been calling to commiserate. But it was just wonderful that you were the first person. So I mean, so one of the great things about having Rex involved in this is not just our kind of long-term kind of trusted relationship, but also whilst you've formally been involved with MAGFAST, I think, for 3 years now, but you've kind of been a consultant, a friend of the business from before it ever launched.
Yeah, well, that's true, and it's been a very exciting 3 years for me. And as I mentioned before, I've worked with many startups. There are many characteristics of MAGFAST that make it very, very special, and I won't go into all of those right now, because if you're a supporter, then you know what that means. You know how special MAGFAST is in the company. You also know that the company does far more than most to be transparent and clear about what's going on, within some difficult circumstances right now. Anyway, talking about questions, I thought there are 3 questions I might ask. The first thing I might be asking right now at this stage is, where am I going to get more information about what's going on, where the challenges are, and what the resolutions look like? The second thing I think I'd want to know is, we're talking about concrete things. What is MAGFAST concretely doing in these circumstances? It's one thing to hear that there are challenges. It's quite another to hear about what we as a team are doing, what Seymour has given us license to do, what Katie and Sanya and the terrific customer service team are doing, and what the production team is doing to address the challenges which we acknowledge. And the third thing, of course, is, when am I going to get mine? When am I going to get mine? And although I can't tell you when you're going to get yours right now, what we can tell you is a little bit about the process that we're going through to get to that point. Okay? So those questions seem fair, Katie? All right.
Yes. And sorry, I'm frozen again. So I hope you can hear me.
You're not completely frozen. You're just moving in this kind of very slow fashion.
Behind.
Yeah, we hear you fine, but I think your picture is delayed, Kate.
Oh, I'm speeding up now.
All right, anyway, let's go through this, because those are the big questions, Rex. Let's get to them.
So the first thing is, where am I going to get information? I'm a MAGFAST customer. I'm a supporter. I've been waiting for my product for some time. Where am I going to get this clarity about what's going on? And really, the thing I want to point you to, more than you've been pointed towards this in the past, although you have been, is the status page. I think we say the status page in the United States here. And by the way, I'm in Silicon Valley, and I think people say status here. I should have done that now. But the status page, magfast.com/status is the place to go. It's your friend. And if you look there right now, you will see that there's more information than there's ever been in terms of shipping batches. And the shipping batch information you will find talks about the fact that we've had shipping batch 1, which is already shipped, shipping batch 2, which will ship before the end of November, shipping batch 3, just looking at my notes here, gets shipped out before the end of January. Then we move into shipping batch 4, which is January through to February, and 5 and 6 will both go out during March, and then you'll see 7 into April and so forth. So we've never been able to be this concrete about large numbers of units going out. We are gradually increasing the number of units per batch, which is good in the way Seymour described. It does not make sense to make your biggest batch the first one. So we're shipping more units than we've ever shipped before. Of course, you're going to want to know which batch you're in, and I'm going to come to that in a little bit of a moment. So on that page also, there's information. There's a link to an article which talks about the global supply chain meltdown. It talks about how this all occurred, how some containers are in the wrong places.
Yeah, I suppose it's a very Rex actually wrote the article, and it's very good indeed. It's worth checking out. So magfast.com/status. We link there to this article, just for understanding. As I said, we own it. We're going to do everything within our power to get this to you, but it does help to understand the context within which we're working. And I think I mentioned on the upgrade a few weeks ago, there's this one of the components there's a chip that there is one of in life and two of in extreme, and it's normally like a 48-cent component, and it's currently almost $10 on the market. And we, through our connections, we were able to shave a little bit off of that. But that's crazy stuff. That's not how things normally are. But we're eating it up because we want to get the first units out to you.
It's a big deal for a small company. I mean, Intel or General Motors, although they don't want to have to absorb costs like that, they can. Companies with billions of dollars in the bank. It's tough for small companies. We'll talk a bit about some of those impacts in a moment. By the way, the article and the status page also contains some information about some of the things that are happening in the market, which will make life easier. So, I mean, just by way of example, Hapag-Lloyd, one of the big German shipping companies, they have 52 vessels out there right now that are moving containers to the right places. Port of Los Angeles actually has offloaded more ships in a single month than ever in their history. So there are efficiency improvements and so forth happening in the market, as well as the things that we're doing in MAGFAST, which is the next topic. So what are we doing? What is MAGFAST doing? What have I been doing and the production group been doing to make sure that we really speed things up as much as we possibly can? Well, the first thing to mention is that production is ramping. So there's been a vast amount of testing of the very early units that have come into us and have gone out to customers. Lots of improvements have been added. We are ramping up production as fast as we possibly can. And there's one of them. One of the reasons that this was possible is because actually, though Seymour's mentioned some of the challenges with decisions that were made early on, one of the good decisions made early on was to pre-order long lead time components, the long lead components, things that take a long time to come in. So actually in the factory right now are many of those things that would normally take many months to come in. So a lot more predictability than you might imagine as a result of that. And thank goodness for P3, the company's manufacturing partner, MAGFAST manufacturing partner, because Damien, whom you've seen in Upgrade already, and Sean have been able to negotiate access to components that we, MAGFAST, and most people simply wouldn't have access to, but they've managed to find special sources of those difficult components. So as a result, we can produce thousands of units in the coming months. What else has happened? Well, many of you decided to become investors last year. And as a result of that investment, thank you very much, as a result of that investment, it actually allowed Seymour to write much bigger checks than he would ever have been able to do. Now, I know that Seymour has talked to you about the purchasing power that comes with, and the negotiating power that comes with the ability to write those checks. Little companies typically don't have it. As a result of you and your faith in the company, Seymour has written some big checks and has got things moving much more quickly than would possibly have happened before. Yep. So you are directly a contributor to the speed up in that the acceleration in the ramp. Another thing to mention, I think, is that air travel. Interestingly enough, we've talked a bit about that global supply chain meltdown. Now, the supply chain meltdown has been particularly ascribed to and related to ocean freight. And the challenge, if you read the materials on the status page, you will see has been that ships have been in the wrong places. Ships have taken a long time to offload because there haven't been workers at the docks and there haven't been truckers to drive the containers inland or to bring containers back to the ports and all sorts of extraordinary things. But one of the other challenges is that there's been almost no air travel. People have stopped traveling, and most of the freight that goes in the bellies of planes therefore hadn't been moving. It's not been feasible to use air freight. Well, that's coming back because people are now flying again. It's significantly more expensive, about 8 times more expensive to fly something by air than to put it on a ship and carry it across the ocean. But one of the things that Seymour has said, and one of those sort of license he's given the company, is to make sure that you will get yours by air and the company will absorb the cost of doing that. So although we can't quite say yet exactly when you will get yours, it will be significantly faster than it would otherwise have been because of free shipping to people in the US, people in the United States. There will be some shipping costs outside the US and there'll be customs duties to pay. But if you're in the US, MAGFAST will cover the cost of air freight to you to ensure that things get sped up as a result. And then the final question, the $64 million question is, when am I going to get mine, right? When am I going to get my order? And you all want to know that, and I want to know that. Well, the shipping batches are the kind of first part of the question. Not every shipping batch is mentioned on that page, so we've got quite a lot more than we've ever had before, all the way through till what I think July of next year. So you'll see that some of you will get yours sooner than others. Well, the real answer is that page I mentioned at the outset, that's your friend. The status page is the place to go to. There will be emails, there'll be outbound communications, there'll be editions of the upgrade, there'll be personal communications to you telling you what's happening when. But please, the place to look, the place to ensure you get the latest information is the status page. There'll be far more information there than anywhere else. And at some stage in the future, there will be a direct link where you will be able to get your shipping batch information. Alpine White orders will go out first. ProKit orders that are Alpine White will go out before people who've ordered individual products.
Right, and ProKit's going to come in kind of in two halves. We've got the first three products, the Life, the Air, the Extreme. We're kind of calling it Hello Kit when the three of those go together. It's kind of, hello, we're shipping. So if you've ordered a ProKit, you'll be getting, Hello Kit first of all, and then the other items to make up the full ProKit as soon as we can. I think that as you can see the sincerity with which Rex is approaching this. As we get more, so like there's folks sometimes go, well, why aren't you telling us? Trust me, we want these in your hands, and until we can have them in your hands, we want to have the information in your hands as well. So we're moving as quickly as we can. It's not nearly fast enough for me. It's not fast enough for Rex, for Kate, for anyone. But we're leaning in as hard as we can. We're going to do this as fast as we can, and you will be thrilled with what you receive. That we know for sure. We're running a kind of a little long at the moment, so I think Rex, we should probably start to wrap. And thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Rex.
But people will have questions. They can send them in, of course, to hello@magfast.com. And Rex has disappeared, but we'll have him personally answer all of them. No, we won't have him personally answer. But we will. Rex is a close advisor, right, to you guys in customer care.
Yes.
Kate. So we'll pick it up like that. All right. I want to be respectful of your time. We have a couple of winners to announce. Last week, we said we asked you to come up with some fun phrases surrounding MAGFAST Air, our beloved MAGFAST Air, the unique charger with the stand that stores neatly on the back, snaps so beautifully on top of wall and all of our other products. So hundreds and hundreds of entries, right, Kate? Let's see what we've got here. So we've got. Well, I think we said we were going to do 3 winners would win a free Air. We couldn't quite get it down to 3, so we got 4. Okay. We always try to deliver a little more than we promised. We're going to do 4 winners instead of 3. All right. So the first one, charge with an air of confidence. Okay. From who was that from? Kate?
Greg C. from Illinois. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Nicely done, Greg. Charge with an air of confidence. So I think it needs to be said with an exaggerated British accent, that one. This one's a rhyme. Need charging options with flair? Don't despair. Use MAGFAST Air. Need charging options with flair? Don't despair. Use MAGFAST Air.
I loved that one. That one was Weston F. from Colorado.
Okay. Going a little darker for a moment here. You can't survive without air.
It's true.
It's true.
Thank you. That was George B. from California.
Thank you, George. You can't survive without air. And finally, an irresistible answer from Florida. Just so simply, irresistible. Irresistible.
Irresistible. Thank you, Elena K. from Florida.
And I just want to say that there were many, 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 many more entries, hundreds of them, a lot of really, really great ones. We just those 4 kind of particularly tickled the team when we were looking through them. Oh, and also, do you have I think you do, don't you, Kate, have a winner for the September $1,000 prize draw, and the winner is?
The winner is Linda Benedict from Canada.
Well
Yay,
done, Linda. Congratulations. Get in touch with Kate Kennard at magfast.com. And Kate, you'll sort her out with, I hope she'll take a bunch of MagFast things, but we want you to, hopefully you'll mix that together with, with some nice other electronics. And people love this, right, Kate? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And the $1,000 prize draw continues. It's unstoppable now. The people love it. It just keeps on going. It's the MagFast monthly $1,000 prize draw, ladies and gentlemen. Linda's the winner, as you just heard, for last month. This month is your chance to win. So go to magfast.com/fun and enter the word
winners, because you're all winners. You don't all
enter
win
the
stuff,
word
but you're all
winners. Because everyone's a winner here at MagFast. So the secret word this week is winners. So magfast.com/fun. Enter the word winners. You'll be in. You get 3 chances actually by going to magfast.com/fun. You get 3 chances to win in the prize draw. All right. Thank you. I know this was longer than usual this week, but I hope it was good for you to meet Rex, hear a little more about what we're doing, and see the kind of the heart that's going into getting this right for you. All right, let's wrap it. You can email us anytime, hello@magfast.com. Tweet us at GetMagFast. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/magfast, youtube.com/magfast, and on Instagram at Magfast.
And we are always charging for good on your desktop, tablet, smartphone, and more.
At Magfast.